How's it going? I just found out that apparently Tim Pool got shot at. So, I don't really know what that is about, but it popped up on my timeline. And, he has a interesting take on Twitter. He claims that the reason they shot him is because he is talking against evil. Last night, a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. No one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to the appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil. Now, is Tim Pool speaking out against evil? Legit question. I'm not making fun of anything. I haven't followed him in a while, but I'm just curious. Because I'm scrolling down and it seems he's speaking against Candace Owens. He's got this feud with her, you know? Like, if this is the interpretation that she has sent in the boys. Do we have any proof? No. It's just like what Tim Pool said. But I don't think, Tim Pool is the type of person that, he would conjure up this level of drama. It's just not in his MO. I mean, yeah, of course, it's possible that, he would say this for the clicks. But usually a high-profile person like Tim Pool probably knows that the internet is going to go and try to see if there's a police report, try to do some digging. And so if he was to genuinely just make this up and not call the cops and not do anything, then the internet is definitely going to be on his ass. So I think that, no, there may have legitimately been a car that stopped in front of his property and opened fire. I mean, I prefer to have evidence. If I was the judge and I was in a public court, yeah, I would prefer to have evidence. But it's just internet shitpost. Well, not internet shitpost. A guy on the internet making a claim, right? Usually you go based on their reputation, what the claim is, if they're accusing someone, right? And so simply him saying, yeah, I got swatted, I would believe him. There was a car that shot at me, I believe him. He's not the type of individual that makes stuff up. I mean, maybe he does make stuff up, but not at this level. I can't believe that Shapiro lost the debate with him a long time before. Ben Shapiro is losing a lot of debates since he doesn't have his heart into it. I mean, it's painfully obvious that Ben Shapiro has an agenda. I don't think this is shocking. When he was genuinely arguing for stuff that he believes in, facts don't care about your feelings, well then, obviously he was making points, but it's kind of hard to make points when you're getting paid. If someone was paying me to defend Vosh, I mean, I can do it, but they're not going to be excellent points. I can show up, I can definitely try my best in order to defend him, but sometimes you're paid to defend the indefensible. And that's the situation that Mr. Shapiro finds himself in. This is why, if you look for Shapiro, the tits of his sister are going to be in the search results, because now she's more popular than him. Good day to you as well, Jankush the Great. Thank you for showing up to the show. Tim Pool is not a fence sitter, he is just pro-Trump. Yeah, I don't know why people say that Tim Pool is a fence sitter. I think I know why, though. This happened during the era of great censorship on social media, the Jack Dorsey dark age. And so in order not to get censored, you had to pretend that, yeah, I'm not really a right-winger, I'm on the fence, when in reality, it was obvious to everyone that he was a right-winger. But again, there was this era where a lot of content creators got banned, a lot of people got zooked, and so you had to pretend, yeah, no, I'm just a leftist, but I'm concerned about what's happening on the left, when in reality, again, anyone with a brain realized that, yeah, Tim Pool is going to vote right-wing. Now, he's not Nick Fuentes level. He's not extremely right-wing. But he is right-wing enough in order to vote Republican. And so this was obvious for anyone paying attention. He used to be a center-lefty pro-Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, but let's be honest. The culture during the lefty pro-Occupy Wall Street was very different than the one now. During the Occupy Wall Street, I would have probably been leftist as well. I mean, you had the Bush era that were absolutely mentally insane with their Patriot Act. They were doing their own censorship. They were basically saying that the war in Iraq is a holy war. They were basically pushing Jesus into everything. They were suffocating people with Jesus. And so, like, well, if you're like that, then yeah, a lot of people that are now on the right are on the right because the left is behaving literally like that. But instead of Jesus, they have the woke ideology and the queer culture. Fuente voted for Kamala. Yeah, like Nick Fuentes, it's very interesting chap. A lot of people say he's right wing, but I just don't see it. Like, okay, you can flap your mouth and say that you're right wing, but almost every single time he criticizes Trump, which is fine, like whatever. But the last 2 elections, he consistently voted Democrat. I mean, I don't know how he voted because I wasn't in the booth with him, but that's what he was saying. He was saying, yeah, I voted Joe Biden. Yeah, I voted Kamala. And it's like, my brother in Christ, like, in what universe are you right wing? Like, I understand, choosing not to go to vote. Okay, like, you don't have a choice, you don't like the candidates, or hell, well, actually not even this. Like, you could vote third party, I suppose, but yeah, like voting for the troll candidate, fine. I would accept this. But when you're basically saying, yeah, I'm right wing, I'm voting for Kamala, like, fuck off. No, you're a leftist. Like, you are what you vote. At the end of the day, I don't care what the individual tree thinks, but when the forest votes left, we all suffer. And so if he's voting left, and I don't even understand the idea. It's like, okay, so immigration bad, Trump is not doing well on immigration. I'm going to vote for the party that wants full-on open borders. It's like, really? So basically you'd vote for Trump if you went to the Democrats, is what you're saying. Like, if Trump just switched side, and he's a Democrat now, then you'd vote for him. He sounds like Dev or Destiny sometimes. I don't really listen to him. Like, I get the clips where he's got a zinger, a banger, and he's kind of funny every now and then, but I wouldn't be able to listen to him consistently if he tells people to vote Democrat. It's like, if I want to listen to people voting Democrat, then I listen to Hassan, I listen to Vosh, like, I listen to a professional. I don't like listening to somebody, yeah, I'm a right-winger, but vote Democrat. Come on. Hey, let's put it the other way around, right? Like, if you had a Democrat that instructed people to vote Republican, how would you feel? Like, imagine if Hassan Piker came out and he said, yeah, I want you all to vote Republican because I don't like the Democrat candidate. Like, would you consider Hassan an ally? Because I would. I would be like, okay, well, I mean, if he instructs people to vote Republican, right? Like, he gets the approval of leftists and he gets into their base and then tells them, hey, vote Republican, then yeah, like Hassan Piker, by that definition, he would be a strong ally of Donald Trump. To be fair, Trump is still a 90s-style Democrat at heart. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't criticize him. Just don't get me wrong here. Like, you can criticize all you want. You're allowed to have, like, different takes. That's fine. However, like, if you tell people vote Democrat, right, vote Kamala Harris, like, you lost the plot. My brother in Christ. Ace, when are you going to come on my stream so we can talk about short fat otaku? I notice people enjoy that. Did you notice that? Like, people really enjoy talking about short fat otaku? You need to, like, stack up a couple of questions that you have for me to answer. I noticed that short fat otaku is, like, really big on debating me. He wants to debate me. And it's like, I don't understand why, because, like, I've been on Archcast with him for more than 6 months, and we debated constantly to the point where I realized that I'm not gaining anything out of it. Like, I'm getting annoyed. I was actually, like, he legitimately gets under my skin. Like, it's not that, oh, well, I don't have my emotions in check, but, like, my brother in Christ, when I go to the groceries, and I see the grocery bill, and then I have someone telling me there's no inflation, like, that really upsets me for some reason. I don't know if it's something that people can understand or not, but when someone is gaslighting you to that level, you get annoyed. And sure, like, I wasn't able to control my anger, like, I wasn't stoic enough, but I did wonder, like, why am I going there constantly to get angry and agitated over what? Like, what am I gaining? And so, like, after talking a lot with him and noticing that he's arguing in what some people would say bad faith and I would say autism, I was like, okay, well, I'm done, like, it's fine. and so he constantly wants to debate me ever since. But he doesn't want to debate Ace. And it's like, why? You debated me so many times. Why not try for someone new? Find that interesting. Instead of trying to debate him, the better option is to ignore him. Well, I mean, I am. It's not that I ignore him. Like, if he hits me up, he hits me up. But no, I did tell him. It's like, I don't enjoy the thing. And if I don't enjoy the thing, I'm not doing it. You know, if he wants to debate me, make a video, bring up the points, and I'll make a video response. Like, that's fine. Don't have to be in the same stream. Dev is bad faith. He wants to debate Sargon on topics that will get him arrested. Oh, does he now? I don't know if he does or doesn't, but like, this is one of the reasons that I stopped debating the left in 2018 or so. When I started my channel, I genuinely wanted to debate. Like, I really wanted to debate people about, what do you mean about inclusivity and diversity? Like, you say it's going to sell more. How is it going to sell more if you remove the titties of Catwoman on the comic book? And I genuinely wanted to talk about that. Unfortunately, no feminist wanted to show up. Like, no feminist wanted to show up and debate me on the patriarchy or, you know, like, at the time that was a hot topic. They were justifying internet censorship in order to stop the patriarchy. And I was like, okay, let's debate. Let's have a conversation. Not a single one wanted. The moment that social media had TOS, and you would get banned if you said the borders are great, because it is known that only Nazis have borders, then they wanted to debate. So basically, like, they could say anything, including, like, yeah, 7-year-olds should be castrated. I do think that immigration is a great thing. Less white people, the better. So, like, they could say all of those talking points. But if I try to say something from my point of view, like misgendering someone, well, that's a bannable offense. And so you have to wonder, like, hold on a little bit. Like, how exactly is this debating? Like, this is not debating. This is like fighting a person with your hands tied behind your back. Because, like, if you throw a punch, the referee kicks you, while the other person is allowed to hit you as much as they want. That's not a real sporting match, you know? That's not real fair, so... but all in all, like, the moment the TOS kicked in, then every single leftist wanted debates. Salon the Lich, thank you for being a member for almost 4 years. That's a lot. Disposition in the Lewinsky for Zog. I don't know, so, I mean, I don't know his position on the Middle East. I assume, like, he has the exact same Democrat CNN position, right? On everything. So, like, he's probably pro-Israel. Wouldn't surprise me. Skeptics Plus, please respond. Every other country in the world is allowed to maintain its borders except for the United States? Not really. I mean, look at the UK. No, there are some nations that decided that welfare is incredibly important. And so they're going to import people in order to keep the welfare going. And by the way, the welfare isn't making sure that you get paid. It's making sure that you don't bitch about it when you don't get paid enough. Like, all of the migration is not because they think, oh, migrants are good for the economy. No. Migrants are excellent for hate speech laws. Like, every single crackdown, you know, look at the UK. Like, they're removing jury trials. Why do you think they're doing that? Well, they're doing that because crime level is too high. That's their argument. Why is the crime level too high? Right? Like, it's all interconnected. You can't have hate speech laws without migration. Look at Europe. Like, there were no hate speech laws before Germany opened the border. In order to have crackdown controls and authoritarianism, you need to have reasons. It's like, the reason, is we're protecting these innocent migrants from the horrible population. And at the same time, the population is so horrible that we want more migrants in. Very simple. It's not rocket science. Poland likes borders. Romania likes borders. We actually were defending the European borders. We opened fire on a couple of boats. And after that, we were told maybe you shouldn't defend them anymore. It was low-key, like, behind the scenes. It's like, okay, you guys are doing a job that's a little bit too professional. Like, let us handle it. From my knowledge, like, from what I know, it's not that we just opened fire on the boats, but when we ran out of ammo, we started ramming them. I think Italy did the same, or was it Greece? I have to look into it. But yeah, they really didn't like that. And they couldn't do jack shit because it was legal. Like, yeah, it doesn't look good in front of the cameras, but for the rules of engagement, it is legal. Like, Australia did it the same. You're supposed to give them a warning. You're supposed to fire in the water in front of them. And if they keep coming, you're supposed to then remove the danger. And if you run out of bullets, you can ram them. But doesn't look good on camera. Right? I mean, Okay, doesn't look good on camera, but this was early 2010, by the way, so like maybe the legislation has changed since. I don't know. But again, like we are talking about a nation like Romania that was under communism. Under communism, if you tried to jump the border, they would shoot you. Like if you tried to leave the country, they were authorized to shoot you. And they would say, stop or I'll shoot. They would fire a bullet in the air. I know that in America it's illegal, but in Romania in communism it was procedure. And then they tried to aim for the legs. But again, I think like the idea in America is different, right? Because it's one thing when you have a guy coming to you. It's another thing where you're in the woods having a guy running away from you. And if it's a guy running away from you, then probably different tactics of engagement. Not a subject YouTube would let you say anything about. I think that there are people that have videotaped the boats getting rammed. Hold on, let me see if it was Italy or someone. Italy boats ramming. I don't think you have it on YouTube. I think it's just on X. Spanish cub boat runs over digging. Okay, so it was in Spain. When was this actually? Hold on. When was Spain doing this? It's on the Daily Mail, but I can't find the date. Jesus. Yeah. No, this isn't the video that I knew. Like, there's others as well. This one looks a little bit more brutal. But yeah, eventually you get to see these things. I don't even know, like, when it happens, because they're very selective. Like, some boats, they're allowed to go through. Other boats, they're stopped. Like, are some of them associated with an NGO that's allowed, and they're taking out the competition? Are there bribes going around? Like, it just has to make me wonder. Because the thing is, like, Australia did it, and did it consistently. And if you do it consistently, then no one is suicidal. Like, they just stop sending the boats. And so, if you keep getting boats, it means that they're not doing it consistently. And so, when you don't do it consistently, like, people are willing to gamble. Bipedal Species says, after feds and tax, buy your kid an apple or something with what's left. So, like, $5, YouTube takes almost half, so I get, like, $2.50. The Romanian government takes around half. And I have $1.25. Yeah, I can actually get my kid an apple. Thank you. Do you think white replacement is real? Asked Janux. I think there are incentives. I don't think, like, politicians conspire. That, like, politicians get around the shady table and conspire. Like, if you look what happened in the European Union, Germany historically has done this. Like, Germany, especially when it needed workers, it has actually got Muslims in its nation. It has got Ottomans from back in the day. It has got Poles. Like, it's a pattern that Germany does. The thing is, like, we were in the European Union and we had open borders for everyone, right? So, like, free movement inside the EU. And you have, like, Angela Merkel basically saying to immigrants, if you come to Germany, you get free shit. And so when they came into Germany, all of a sudden they're now in the EU and can travel everywhere. So, like, basically she unilaterally opened the borders for everybody. And so then they start pressuring because they realize, okay, now we're taking in too many. And they start trying to force other nations using the EU to take percentages and quotas. And if you're asking me for incentive, well, if I'm a person in the European Union and I make 10,000 euros a month, like, my incentive is to keep making 10,000 euros a month. Even if people say democracy doesn't matter, I don't give a shit. It's my chair. Like, I need to sit there. And so I need the dictatorship, right? Like, I need the hate speech laws. I need crackdowns. I need to make sure my opposition doesn't ever get to push a message across. And so, yeah, I'm going to support more immigration so I can support more hate speech laws, so that I can take more welfare from people in order to finance the hate speech laws, the AI algorithm, all of the enforcement and that. And so, are there people that genuinely think about replacing Europeans? Like, I'm sure there are. A lot of academics, a lot of ideologues, and yes, I'm aware. But at the same time, there's also like pragmatic reason, like people who actually make money off of this. I mean, look at Britain, right? Imagine if you're a hotel owner and all of a sudden the government is paying you, I don't know how much, like $2 million a year or something like that, in order to fill up your hotel with migrants. Now you have two choices. Number one, go into the free market and you get clients when you get clients, and you have to be competitive. There are people that can choose other hotels. There's no guarantee that you're going to have your hotel fully booked. Or do business with the government, right? And if you do business with the government, like, isn't your incentive so that the government keeps bringing in migrants? Like, at what point, if your business is being a hotel manager and you're making around $2 million a year, you're going to say, yeah, no, this is enough? Like, no, obviously, you're going to support the establishment. Is the boomers? I don't know if it's just the boomers. I think, like, the zoomers as well are starting to become like that. Obviously, like, the zoomers aren't a monolith, right? Like, they're not a hive mind. I think the zoomers are caught in between the ones before and the ones after pandemic. There's a really big chain of thought that's very different. But the zoomers, for instance, do not care about privacy. They do not care about censorship. And they definitely don't care about hate speech laws. And so, unless you do that, even if you change the governments, I don't think you're going to get much results. I actually recorded a video with my friend from Freedom Alternative, and we discussed this thing in the United Kingdom. Like, is Farage going to win? And his belief is that, yes, Farage is going to win. I kind of disagree with him simply because of the British system of first past the post and the amount of votes that you actually need, that you need like 51% of the votes in order to win. So it's very difficult for him. But okay, you know, like I'm not saying that it's impossible. I just don't see it when you have places like London that vote overwhelmingly left, and you have, okay, fine, whatever. Let's say he wins. My friend and I both agree that he's not going to be able to do much. Why? Because the entire British bureaucracy is left-wing. Like, he's having no allies. Everyone is going to try and sabotage him. The entire British bureaucracy, the entire civil servant, is far left. Like, the left tried for more than 50 years in order to make this accomplishment. To expect that the right would just destroy the work of so many people that was building there for 50 years, like, no, sorry, it's not like that. You need at least 50 years of right-wing consistency in order to revert the change. Because, like, the left had 50 years of consistency. Like, they worked really hard, and British people liked it. And I'll give you another example of why it's not possible. I made a video, and I explained to a lot of British, like, look, the reason people don't want to have kids is because back in the day, a 16-year-old would produce wealth. Not a lot of wealth, obviously, but like a 16-year-old, he would go on a bike and throw some newspapers. He would flip a burger at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's, and I enjoyed it, right? And so, like, you're less of a burden to the parents. Like, the parents don't have to give you pocket money. The idea that a 21-year-old is doing university and the parents has to pay for his electricity, for his food, for all of that's novel. This is why parents can't afford to have kids, right? And people in medieval time definitely could. And so I was explaining this, and I was saying, like, in a real world, in a normal economy, a 16-year-old would start flipping burgers, and he would already plan to start his own life, to be independent. And British people were messaging me, and it's like, yeah, but I don't want my kid to be like that. So, like, translation. What he actually wants is for other British people to work hard, have their taxpayer money taken by the government, and then given to his kid. And it's like, okay, if that's your mentality, you're going to get immigrants. Because the government takes a cut, and with that cut, it uses surveillance, it uses AI, it uses all that bullshit, and the bureaucracy that's there in order to bring more immigrants. That's what you want. Like, there is no, like, correct or incorrect way. It's just trade-offs. Like, sure, it's possible. Like, if you want other British people to pay for your child, right, so he can go and get a gender studies degree, you can have other British people pay for your child and get a gender studies degree, but you're giving money to the government. That's oppressing you. Like, you're literally paying for your own oppression by wanting that. NHS, they want sci-fi level healthcare. Well, if you want sci-fi level healthcare, you gotta pay sci-fi level money. It's literally the British religion, the NHS. And British people don't want to get rid of it. If you don't want to get rid of it, Anyway, right. They have Eastern European problems, but they refuse to have Eastern European solutions. What can I do for them? False. There were no warning shots. Border guards would just empty the magazine in people who were swimming over the Danube. There's a very large cemetery in Serbia where Romanians who try to swim. Look, I'm telling you because my uncle was a border guard. And he actually told me this. Now, maybe he lied. But my uncle actually did say that this was the procedure. It was stop or I'll shoot, and then they would fire. Now, of course, I assume that if you find people already in the Danube, then you open fire, right? Because by that time, if they manage to get over, then you're probably going to be tried as a traitor to the state if you didn't do anything and you were a border guard. But the standard procedure, as told by my uncle, who when he was in the military actually did patrol the Romanian border, was that he would have to aim for the legs and he would have to give certain warnings. It's also easier for companies to hire immigrants than 16-year-olds because illegal immigrants can't complain about being overworked. Well, yeah, I mean, that's true as well. But, like, let's be honest. The culture itself doesn't want children to work. The culture itself has decided that everything under 18 is a child. There is no more teenager. Like, the culture, if they see a company hiring a 16-year-old, is not a good look. They call it child labor, right? Like, I actually saw a video a couple of months ago of a 16-year-old girl or some shit, and she was, like, mopping the floors at a supermarket, and people were horrified. And so, like, again, if that's the culture, if that's what people vote for, no, like, democracy actually works. If you support that, that's what you get. Now, everything is connected, right? You get the package deal. You don't get to pick and choose. But if you want things to be like in the 70s, well, you have to have a culture that's like in the 70s. You can't be like, well, I don't like, like in the 70s, they had children working. It's like, yeah, they had probably baristas that were at the age of 16. They probably had newspaper boys that were 15. And people could make money when they were young. But let's be honest, if you go in America and you hire a 15-year-old to mow the lawn, that's child abuse. But if you hire Pablo, that's illegal. No one says anything, right? And so, like, the incentive is there to hire Pablo. But what can I do? Like, I don't care about the birth rates. I'm just noticing that, yes, like countries where children can actually do jobs when they're young have higher birth rates. Why? Because the child actually makes money. And so the parents are less stressed. Like if you have 3 or 4 kids and they all bring money at home, at least you don't have to pay for them, right? Like they can pay for themselves. And by the way, like when you make minimum wage, this was another thing that I argued with a British person. I was basically saying, look, minimum wage when you're a kid is amazing. Like when I was 16 and I worked at KFC, I was getting minimum wage, but when I went home, I didn't have to pay for electricity, I didn't have to pay for mortgage, I didn't have to pay for my car, I didn't have to pay for anything. Like the entire minimum wage was in my pocket. So I was actually making more when I was a kid than I was making when I was living alone. And I was earning a lot more, right? The British mind just doesn't understand this. And they went to my comment section. It's like, no, V, I actually think that minimum wage should actually allow you to have a standard of living. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. No, like first of all, like minimum wage shouldn't be for careers. It should be for waiting tables, mowing the lawn, doing shit that's minimum. But it is what it is. Like, again, like the entire legislation is meant to cut the teenagers off the workforce. And so if you don't have teenagers in the workforce, you have them in universities. And in universities, parents have to pay for them, and you have to pay for them, even if you don't have a kid. Didn't you say I worked at McDonald's and not KFC? I actually worked at both. I started at McDonald's. Didn't really like it there because you had to stand up all the time. It was very annoying to stand up for 8 hours. And when I went to KFC, they actually had a little chair where you marinated the chicken. And so you sit on the chair and you marinate the chicken, and it was so heavenly. Because you sit on the chair a little bit, and then you're standing up, and then you're back on the chair. So yeah, I don't know exactly how much I worked at McDonald's. I think I worked maybe 2 or 3 months, and then I moved to KFC. I actually had many jobs when I was a kid. I also worked patching internet. Like, I would go on top of the buildings, the high rises, and back there we had like area networks. Well, not really area networks. The first internet companies were starting up. Like, we didn't have like the major ISPs and internet providers, and so like there was like neighborhood companies that operated by giving internet, and you had to connect buildings to the internet. Like, there was an entire building that had no internet access, right? There were no Wi-Fi's then. You actually needed to use a cable. And so there were like some kids, like all of us were young. There were some kids on a building, they would throw the cable down. The other kids from the other building would throw down a rope. A kid in the middle would tie the internet cable to the rope, and the other ones would just pull it up, and there you fucking go. It was really cool. And then you had to make the connection with the switch. Like, they had like certain colors that you needed to mix and match. It was a really good paid job. I really enjoyed it. A little bit annoying because like sometimes it was raining or it was very hot, and you also had to do the repairs. Like, someone would call you because the internet is down, and so you would travel there and you would check. Sometimes the switch was fried. Other times a lady with a babushka would cut off the internet with a knife, and you had to fix it. It was fine. Yeah, internet installer, I guess. Yeah, that job doesn't exist anymore, but it's actually a well place to put it. Yeah, I mean, the chair is very important. Dude, like, you don't know how annoying it is to stay just on your feet for 8 hours a day. It's a chore, and it was like really annoying, especially when there was nothing to do. So you have nothing to do and you just need to stay up. It's like sadism. I don't know why they did it. Just put a chair, for fuck's sake. You know, you improve a little bit of workers' efficiency. I wonder how many RG45 connections got ripped off. I don't know. But like, I do know that a lot of ladies with the butcher knife would actually cut the cable. I never understood why. Like, literally, the cable was cut. And I had to wonder, like, why would they do this? They didn't do it for the telephone wire. They didn't do it for the TV. Only the internet. And it was like, why though? And it was like in different buildings as well. Like, there wasn't a conspiracy or some shit. But like, okay, you know, I did my job. I had to go there. I had to replace it. It was what it was. No, I didn't have it. Well, actually, I did have a chair when I was doing the internet thing, because like we would move by car. So like we had a driver. And so, and not to mention, like, when I'm on the building, on top of a building, and you're waiting for the other guys to drop the rope and shit, like, you can sit down. So it was actually, yeah, no, I actually refused to do jobs that require standing up. It's why I didn't want to become a surgeon. Like, I just flat out refused. No, I'm not standing up for 8 hours. Absolutely not. Probably because they didn't understand what the cable was for. Yeah, but like, that's a very interesting mentality. I don't know what it's for, I'm cutting it. But I'm living in a building with like 300 other people. Obviously it does something, right? So like, why not ask around? Jesus. My buddy would fry up a bunch of chicken late in the day, so he had plenty bringing home after closing. Yeah, we actually got that at KFC as well. Any food that was remaining after close time, we could actually take home. Until they realized that a lot of us were actually frying chicken before closing times, then they banned people from taking the food home. Like, you could eat there, but Anyway, right, we're talking about Morgan of Piers, so let's see what the old man has to say, because he actually came out against woke ideology, and I find this interesting because a lot of people are surprised. And it's kind of like this. That is like the actual things that woke ideology does, which are harmful. So here we're having mass immigration, inflation, maximum taxation, like things that genuinely hurt people. And then you have like the cultural nonsense, which could be avoidable. The identity politics, the mental asylum, basically. And you can have leftists like Piers Morgan that are for everything that's harmful, but they just reject the mental asylum. That's not surprising. That doesn't shock me at all, right? It's just like is that the left is now losing ground, and so they want people that are well spoken. This literally happened with the Bush era. Like the Bush era went into mental insanity land, where they had the fun police that were banning all of the entertainment, and on top of that, they were pushing for intelligent design. They were saying that the Earth is 6,000 years old, and they were starting to push more and more nonsense, pretending that demons are real. And so, like, people voted Obama, and then they started getting these right-wingers fired. And so right-wingers had to clean up their act and get well-spoken people, common sense, like no more tides go in, tides go out. You can't explain that. No, they actually got people that were dressed in suits like Nick Fuentes. And this is pretty much what Piers Morgan is right now. Like, he is a well-spoken, dressed-in-suit person that just refuses the mental asylum. But he's still a leftist. Like, he's still going to vote left.
And for our audience, what you say woke is. Because, as you know, there are plenty of people who say woke means being tolerant and being inclusive and being kind.
I mean, that is laughable in
Why?
itself. Well, because
Why?
the woke brigade are the least tolerant, least inclusive, and least kind people.
But that is a mass generalisation, isn't it?
No, it's not actually.
Go on.
No, my whole premise of my book is I'm a liberal. I have nothing in common with the way the woke left has behaved in the last few years. The great irony...
Yeah, I mean, look, all of this is true, right? But, like, where was he 10 years ago? Where was he being this outspoken 10 years ago? I'm sure, you know, now that it's safe. Yeah. It's kind of like coming up now and saying, oh, yeah, by the way, the COVID vaccines, kind of sus. You shouldn't take them. That's my opinion, not a fact. Right? Like, saying that now, or you shouldn't mask up. Don't mask up, you know, no one gives a shit now, right? But, like, say that during the COVID stuff, you know? Would they do it? No, right? And so, is this, like, bravery? Is this... It's kind of like when you had the whole Caitlyn Jenner coming out as trans. And everyone was like, oh, stunning and brave, stunning and brave. It kind of was. I'm not going to lie. You know, like Caitlyn Jenner came out very early. She didn't know, like he didn't know, whatever. They didn't know what the repercussions are going to be. Are they going to keep getting sponsors? Are they going to get hired? Are they going to get persecuted? They didn't know, right? If you did that during the Bush era, your career was done. It's like coming out now as a white supremacist. And so, yeah, it was starting up brave. But like 3 years later, when you had like people coming out and everyone was pretending it's stunning and brave, like, no. No, like you have corporations with the rainbow flag. You had every single U.S. embassy with the rainbow flag. You have every single July coming up and you get like the LGBT activists persecuting other people, getting Christians to bake the cake bigots. I mean, when you come out in that environment, like, let's be honest. It's not stunning and brave. And so, like, Piers Morgan coming up now and is like, oh, well, yeah, like, woke people are intolerant. As if he's running my channel back in 2016. Let's be honest.
They became the very kind of fascists that they profess.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, they didn't become the kind of fascists. They were the fascists from day one. Any single person during the Gamergate era that took a little bit of glimpse at how social justice activists behave, it was painfully obvious that they are fascists, that they don't allow any type of dissent, that there can't be anything outside of their ideology, that disagreement with them is violence. You can't come in 2026, you know what I found out? What? The woke are fascists. Come on. You know, the left are the real fascists. Really? You didn't know up until now.
Best to hate most. They became the scolders, the shamers, the cancellers. In some extreme cases, as with the murder of Charlie Kirk, the murderers of people for their speech. That's not liberalism. It's the antithesis of liberalism.
To be fair, though, and this is what's interesting, the BBC is airing this. And so, like, there's no way that they didn't know Piers Morgan's opinions. Like, this is not how it works in this level of television. Like, usually they don't invite people that they don't know what they are going to say. And so they are choosing to air this.
There will be a time, probably not too distant future, when the world will look back on this period and say, let me get this absolutely straight. There was a body of opinion which couldn't be contested on pain of cancellation that you could allow biological men to compete in women's sport, for example. And people will think we'd lost our minds.
Even now, like, he's not going to say castrating children. But I don't think it will be that surprising. You know, like, we look back at the time they were castrating homosexuals, or the time that they were doing lobotomies, and you had lobotomy fans and stuff. And we look back at it, and it's like, meh. You know, the new science churns, new stuff comes out, people pretend like that didn't exist. That's what's going to happen. Most people won't give a shit. They won't care. Like, for instance, do you know that they would sell radioactive beauty products? And that's a little shocking, isn't it, right? And there were research back then. And the research was silenced, and it was actually allowed to be sold for quite a while. But, like, look here, right? This was actually being sold in stores back in the day. It was called Radium Beauty. And apparently, like, there's an article that shows, like, these women getting, the ones that took this, like, getting cancer, their jaws would fall down. Like, they would be in the most insane pain imaginable and having one of the worst deaths imaginable. Especially the ones that drank this. Like, it was also drinking Radiator. It's called the radium era, right? Like, look, there's even documentaries about it. And so, how do we look back at it? Well, it's kind of like a curiosity. It's like I guess it happened, you know. But, like, it was approved, you know. The science was okay with it. When the minimum wage was originally instituted, it was intended to and did provide a decent standard of living. Well, yeah, but, like, put it this way. The economy doesn't stagnate, and inflation is a thing. So it's kind of what the church figured out with the good price, which was pretty much price controls. And it would also collapse economies and make countries poor. Like, there are a lot of things that are good on paper, and they sound nice, but reality doesn't work like that. The whole thing with minimum wage, right? Like, let's say you have minimum wage in the United States. China doesn't have minimum wage. And it's not just about minimum wage, because there's a lot more that comes with, like, safety, like factory safety and other things. You know, all common sense and good things. But what you end up having is making a laptop in China costs $500 to manufacture it. Making the exact same laptop in the United States costs $1,000 to manufacture it. And so if I'm a company making laptops, please tell me, why would I ever make them in the US? There's literally no point, right? Like, only if I'm an imbecile. And so you end up making them in China and then exporting them into the US. And so what happens if you're an imbecile and you actually make them in the US for $1,000? Well, now you have to sell them for $1,500. If I make them in China for $500, I need to sell them for $1,000. And so it's literally the same laptop, But mine is half as cheap as yours, right? Why? Because you actually did follow the minimum wage. You followed everything. You did everything by the book. You're a nice patriot. You know, you bled for your country. But you're going to go bankrupt. Anyway, yeah, the tariffs. But like the thing with the tariffs, first of all, if I'm a company that makes laptop in China and the United States puts tariffs, okay, I can sell them to Mexico, like that's fine. I'm not going to sell them for 1,000, I'm going to sell them for 750. I can sell them to the European Union, I can sell them to Canada. Unless the entire nation, unless the entire world tariffs me, I can just say, yeah, okay, you know, maybe America isn't worth it. And not to mention, like, China is going to tariff back on certain industries. But what happens is, like, you're going to get less laptops. And the idea is, like, well, hopefully, you know, some company in the future is going to make American laptops. But they're going to run into the same problem, the minimum wage, the legislation about worker protection, worker rights, all of that adding up. And at the end of the day, it's not ideological, it's just economical. Like, they're going to look like, are we going to make money by being here? Or can we go to China and not sell to the US, but we can sell to other nations? And so far, most have decided that no, like actually being in China and selling to other nations is the good thing. And so it's not tariffs that's the problem, it's minimum wage. Get rid of minimum wage, get rid of the taxes, get rid of a lot of legislation until you end up like China and you have like the same worker rights that they do, and then you'll have laptop factories. Everything is financial incentive. People operate on incentives, not morality. Any comments regarding the RAM shortage? Okay, so the RAM shortage, I think it's happening for two reasons. Because I looked into it since last video. One of them is the AI. A lot of AI require RAM. And another is because a big company has decided to leave the market. Now, I don't think that this shortage is going to last indefinitely, simply because if there's a huge demand, there's going to be other companies that enter the market, or they're going to expand. And so you're probably going to get 5 or 6 years of very expensive RAM, and eventually the price is going to go down to what it was. I think like the AI industry has indeed destabilized the market, but as any new industry, after a while, things just stabilize again. If you want an example that's a good parallel, remember the price of graphics card when Bitcoin became a thing. And so you had a lot of miners that were purchasing graphics cards, and the price of GPUs went insanely high. But eventually, the industry stabilized, right? Like the number of miners stopped growing. It became a predictable pattern, and the number of GPUs, they also like increased manufacturing. And so the prices actually went down. So this is probably what's going to happen. If you want to make a computer, I do recommend it like making it now, because for the next couple of years it's going to be more expensive. Not necessarily like make a new computer, but like buy the RAM early, right? So like if you want to buy RAM now, you can actually short sell it. The demons are real, Jad, is about to spill after the Autopen presidency. I'm not exactly a religious person, but they were crazy or evil. The price of GPUs are still high. And the lower end is now gone? No. I think like the price... Well, so hold on. Like GPUs are now high because the AI also needs GPUs. And the price of GPUs became high after 2020. But there was a period, and I remember this perfectly because I bought GPUs back then. Especially during the 2018, 2019 era where GPUs actually went down in price. They went up after the pandemic because of the supply chain issues, and I think like there was a chip shortage because of the blockage with China. And so like the prices, yes, they did go up. They stabilized for a little bit, and now the AI is making them go up again. And it's also because like GPU requires RAM as well. But for a while, they were actually going down. Has any commodity or service price decreased since the COVID price surge? I don't think so, because we have inflation. You know what? No, actually something did. I bought a monitor that's better than the one I had, and it was actually cheaper. So I guess like prices for monitors. But it's actually better in specs than what I had. It's not a high-end monitor, if you will. It's better than the previous one that I got, which was a Predator monitor. And now I got one from a different company, and it's have better specs. And I actually looked, and it's less than what I paid for my previous one, which I bought like 4 or 5 years ago. So I suppose kinda ish. But in reality, no, because of inflation. Prices always go up. I don't think that's actually true. It depends on what. When I got a 486, like the first computer that I had was crippling expensive. Like it required 3 or 4 wages in order to get the 486. And prices for it, like prices for a computer now is down. A television back in the day, a black and white TV, like that, it was actually more expensive than getting a flat screen now. So, depends. Like, technology also plays a part. If you're talking about technological things. A car. Like, I remember a car when they came out, when my grandfather was young. It was like an entire investment. It was like a big family investment. Now you can get a car for $2,000 on second hand. So, yeah, no, like, prices do go down. It's not a fixed rule. But generally speaking, yeah, they go up. Well, yeah, it was before PCs were mass market, but, like, people ask me, do prices go down? And I just gave an example that, yes, there are cases where prices do go down. Your monitor only works 3 years. Planned obsolescence. Yeah, that's true. To be fair, though, I remember, like, the old monitors. They weren't really that fixable. They did last more than 3 years, but they weren't as great as people hyped them up to be. My car cost $3,000, and I paid off half doing drywall. Yeah. No, cars are cheap now. Like, back in the day, you needed to make an entire bank loan to get a car. It was insanely expensive. And, well, there were actually less cars. Do you know what else was expensive? The internet. Like, I actually had a talk with my friend from Freedom Alternative. And we were talking, like, why was the internet so much cooler when we were younger? And it's like, well, because the peasantry wasn't on it. And it kind of makes sense, because, like, in order to have a dial-up connection, you needed to be pretty fucking rich. And so it was usually wealthy kids that had the internet. We weren't the aristocrats. We had prestige. Anyway, chat, I think that's about it. I want to make some videos probably next week. Next week, yes? It's Sunday today. All right, next week. And I want to play some Half-Life. Do you guys want to see the original Half-Life, Half-Life 1? Would that be something that you'd be interested in doing a Let's Play with me? Last time I played Half-Life, I remember I was asking people if they want to play multiplayer. Like, I actually wanted to make a server. No one joined. And that made me a little bit sad. Apparently, they may release Half-Life 3. Like, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, right. I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a great evening. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.